Kardec Radio proudly presents a journey across time into the soul of an empire. An audio drama inspired by the Spirit Emmanuel as revealed through the hands of the medium Chico Xavier. "2,000 years ago, he walked the halls of power as a Roman senator. Now, his spirit returns to recount a story of pride, love, and redemption in the dawn of Christianity." But the moment does not linger unchecked. Livia enters, graceful, composed. Behind her, Hannah and Semele, her faithful maids, two shadows of compassion, following a woman burdened with silent concern. Their presence softens the room, but it also unsettles. Slight shift. Sulpicius adjusts. Fulvia steps back faintly. The atmosphere tightens. The air, once heavy with intrigue, now tenses with restraint. Unspoken motives meet unshakable intuition.
Welcome to the Lentulus family. I believe we can be friends, as it was always so in Rome. You are?
Hannah, to serve you, my lady.
And you?
Your servant, Semele, my lady, and I have experience with children.
Then you like children?
I feel happy looking after them as if they were my own.
You will look after my little Marcus. Now let's go to prepare for the journey. We will leave the day after tomorrow.
They leave. In a decisive moment of early Christian history, Publius Lentulus makes a choice, one that will echo through time. With his family beside him, he leaves behind the politics of Rome and the unrest of Jerusalem. The ambiance opens to a calmer, more sacred space. They journey to Capernaum, a town by the Sea of Galilee, humble, sun-washed, and yet destined to become sacred ground. Silence rests with meaning. The year is 33 of the Christian era, a time when destinies cross and the voice of the gospel begins to stir the world.
Have you been observing him?
Yes. I have been following this Jesus Christ, but I have found nothing that can incriminate him with the Roman authorities. What I observe is that the ever-increasing multitude following him consider him a prince.
About the healing, what can he do?
I have seen incredible things. Blind men who run off shouting that they could see. Half-dead children assailed by diseases that the best doctors considered incurable. Would you like to meet him?
Absolutely not. In my position of a public man, I think that the priests of Palestine should begin to think about this question.
The first reactions have already started. I feel that soon the Roman authorities will be called.
In the quiet rhythm of daily life, the simplicity of service becomes sacred. Semele tends to the garments, careful hands smoothing folds and mending seams. Her silence is steady, her purpose clear. Beside her, Livia and Hannah work together, speaking softly as they go about their tasks. No ceremony, no audience, only the quiet grace of shared labor and quiet companionship. In these moments, truth moves without noise, and faith, still unspoken, begins to blossom in the simplest acts of kindness.
My lady, why don't you take little Flavia to receive the blessings of the rabbi? I have seen so many cures happening through faith.
Because of our social position, it would be complicated. I want very much to meet Jesus, but...
Days ago, during his preaching, a few children were making noise and disturbing the apostles, who began to rebuke them, but Jesus called them to him, and smiling calmly, he said, "Come to me, the little children, for theirs is the kingdom of heaven." It was so beautiful, the children running to his arms and laughing.
I feel that you should go to see Jesus. You are an authority, but you are also a father.
I have thought about it, but many doubts remain.
What about our daughter? We are responsible for her future.
I shall decide by tomorrow.
Livia steps away, her presence like a closing chapter, quiet, graceful, necessary. And then Publius begins to move, not rushed, not certain, but drawn by something beyond words. He walks toward a presence, a man drawing near. Not with a crown, not with legions, but with a peace that bends time itself. Jesus is approaching.
I must forget social positions and think about my sweet Flavia. I need to release her from her suffering. But really, how can I have come so low, to look for a so-called healer among fishermen?
Through a storm of unspoken emotions, Publius wanders the narrow streets of Capernaum, his heart heavy, his thoughts in turmoil. Yet something greater urges him forward. He halts, as if held in place by an invisible force.
The same sensation as in the dream with my great-grandfather.
Agonizing emotion, a soul standing at the edge of itself. Publius, Roman senator, husband, father, now faces the greatest transformation of his existence. Jesus is near. The air shifts. Time seems to pause.
Senator, why are you looking for me?
Publius stands, still as stone, his voice caught between awe and awakening. Publius remains static, unable to speak.
I can understand him. I thought he spoke in Aramaic. I must be dreaming.
It would have been better if you had looked for me at an earlier hour, in the open. You would be able to learn the supreme lesson of faith and humility, and be assured that you do not dream. From now on, you can transform your heart in a canticle of love, humility, and faith. All the powers of your empire are nothing.
Publius keeps thinking,
Humility! Who does he think he is to talk to me like that? What nobility does he think he has?
The sparkle of the nobles is an ephemeral illusion. One day the powerful eagles will stop to exist under a pile of miserable ashes. Your science and law will suffer total transformation. From the debris of human restlessness, only the law of love will remain. Now go back home to see your daughter be healed. You still live in selfishness, which is human, but the love and faith of your wife, which are divine, has produced this cure.
Publius remains looking at Jesus, who starts to leave. He remains standing there, held by a superhuman force. He moves slowly towards Livia and Hannah.
What an extraordinary man! Can he be like the Magi of Rome? My daughter.
Publius comes closer to where Livia and Hannah are standing.
Publius, our little girl, is getting better. Since you left, Hannah and I have been praying and asking the prophet.
And he heard us.
Is Flavia better?
Yes, he heard us. Our little darling is now smiling and eating well.
Yes, but it could be the result of the treatment. It must have had some effect.
But didn't you go to see Jesus?
Yes, I thought him extraordinary. But to cure so quickly, it's too much.
How long have we been treating her with the best doctors and our daughter only getting worse? But the moment you met Jesus...
You have allowed yourself to be contaminated by the beliefs of this fanatical people that we have the misfortune to meet.
Galilee. In the time of Jesus, it was a land overflowing with life. The waters of Lake Gennesaret sparkled with vitality, more plentiful than in our time, feeding the people and the land alike. And along its margins, orchards stretched wide, their blossoms perfuming the air with the sweet scent of peace.
Of all the Galileans, the people of Capernaum distinguished themselves for their spiritual and natural beauty. Leading a simple life, they accepted the laws of Moses with sincerity, without any of the hypocrisy that, at the time, pervaded the religion in Jerusalem. Through the spontaneous faith of its people, Capernaum was the stage for the birth of Christianity in its purest form. In that region was to be found the best elements that would form the divine Christian school. Although he had the right to speak at the synagogue, Jesus preferred to be in the streets where near the beauty of nature he could teach the lessons of heaven. The Lentulus family, drawn in by the fate that is always fulfilled, played their part among the whirlwind of stories of those days. In a terrible night, little Marcus had his life touched by the axe of his father. The kidnappers who took Marcus did not demand money for his return. Despair took over the home of Publius Lentulus, and Publius offered a large sum of money to whoever could identify the kidnappers.
At the far edge of the scene, where the light is dimmer and the world seems to hold its breath, André of Gioras waits, his figure still, carved from silence and grief. From the shadows, the slave Semele approaches, not with fear, but with the quiet dignity that suffering teaches. The two come to a stop. Silence stretches between them. Their meeting is brief. No grand words, no formal greeting. Only a shared understanding of pain carried and trust cautiously extended.
Semele, I found out that an enormous sum of money has been offered by the powerful Senator Publius.
Yes, sir. After we carried out our plan, everyone in the house went crazy. It couldn't be worse, given that we have taken what was most precious, his only son. If only it had been the girl.
But that was exactly what I wanted, so that he can feel the same pain that I feel.
The reward for finding the boy is very high. She says with enthusiasm, it would solve the financial problems of anyone. One could buy a nice house and much more.
My idea to use Roman clothing was perfect.
I was almost found by another servant when I returned the clothes I took from Lady Livia.
The reward is tempting.
Yes, it can persuade anyone who knows about it to inform the authorities. How much are you paying me, Andre? My fiancé and I want to get married soon.
Wait a little longer. You cannot leave the house so soon, as it would be suspicious. Let's drink some wine to celebrate the success of our business. Do not worry, you will be well paid.
They go out drinking. Ignoring her fate, Semele is poisoned by Andre, who fears being betrayed by his accomplice. Kardec Radio proudly presents A Journey Across Time into the Soul of an Empire. An audio drama inspired by the Spirit Emmanuel as revealed through the hands of the medium Chico Xavier.